Before you start anything, whether it's a congressional campaign or even just a basic business, this is 101 type of strategy, and they failed on it.
These are the types of sleazy political tactics, really, that disgust all voters.
Voters searching online for congressional candidates Charles Gambaro or Randy Fine may have noticed something unusual this week. Typing in Charles Gambaro for Congress.com or Randy Fine for Congress.com redirects visitors to a campaign website for Will Furry, chairman of the Flagler County School Board and a candidate in the Republican primary for Florida's 6th Congressional District. Furry says his campaign had nothing to do with those domains.
Well, first of all, let me just clear the air. The only domain that we operate, willfurryforcongress.com, is the official link to our website, and that's the only one people should be using to get official information from our campaign. It's clear that somebody else must have purchased these domains. That's a common practice online.
But Palm Coast City Councilman Charles Gambaro, also running in the race, sees it differently.
At the end of the day, candidates are responsible for the actions of their campaign, and Will Ferry's not taking accountability for the actions of his campaign, and it's a clear sign of lack of leadership.
Gambaro questioned why the sites would lead directly to Furry's campaign.
Let me tell you, where I come from, commanders are responsible for their actions of their organizations, and Will Ferry is just deflecting. It is disappointing that a local public official would stoop to this level. It is a desperate maneuver that I personally find appalling by a man that claims to be a person of faith.
Furry pushed back, saying the situation highlights a lack of preparation by opponents who didn't secure the domains first.
Securing domains early is just a basic digital strategy, and that just shows their lack of preparation on the other side.
And while Gambaro calls the website redirects deceptive, Furry argues the attention reflects something else.
Well, here's the thing. It does represent the enthusiasm around our grassroots effort here. And this is somebody else's First Amendment right to point these to wherever they want. But it's not being controlled by our campaign.
Both Gambaro and Furry officially launched their congressional campaigns this summer, joining incumbent Randy Fine in what's expected to be a heated Republican primary next year. Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Friday, August 22nd. At this year's annual meeting, the Flagler Tiger Bay Club presented its Alice E. Stewart Civility Award to co-founder and former president Greg Davis.
The Alice Stewart Civility Award, Alice was a great supporter of Flagler Tiger Bay Club. She spoke many times. And, knowing Alice and what she did, she just epitomized the values and the standards, the high standards of Flagler Tiger Bay Club.
The award is named in memory of Alice Stewart, a longtime political communicator and CNN commentator who passed away last year. Davis said he was humbled to receive recognition connected to her legacy.
I'm very honored and surprised to receive this award. Just very honored, just because of the standards. I think that just within my own DNA has always been to be respectful of other people, to listen to them from their point of view. I mean, to me, that's a fundamental basis of how you communicate and you really get to know folks. I don't really see the differences in people as much as I see the commonality within people. And I see it as an opportunity to learn.
He added that the message behind the award goes beyond politics. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, conveniently located right off I-95 at exit 311. A Palm Coast man is sentenced for a crime involving a child.
33-year-old David Chenoweth of Palm Coast was sentenced to many years in the Florida Department of Corrections after accepting a plea deal in a child sex offense case. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
A pervert who took the innocence away from a child victim will now have 14 years in state prison to think about his actions, followed by 20 years sex offender probation and a requirement to register as a sex predator when he gets out of prison.
Sheriff Staley has a stern message about this case.
Personally, I'd like to see him in jail for the rest of his life, but that isn't going to happen in this case. I commend our detectives for investigating and the victim for having the strength to come forward and let us know what happened. And frankly, I hope he rots in prison for what he did.
Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley. For Flagler's Local Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
The weekend is here and there's plenty of family fun to be had in Flagler County. This is Stacy with Fun for Augie Kids.
Surf's up tomorrow at Flagler Beach as the Surfers for Autism Festival brings waves of joy to kids and young adults with special needs. Volunteers and surfers unite to make magic happen, one unforgettable ride at a time. Scholar Fest Step Up and Connect brings local families and scholarship providers together for a one-day celebration of learning and support. Explore resources, meet EMA portal providers, and discover programs to help your child thrive. Celebrate the legacy of Florida folk legend James Gamble Rogers IV at Gamble Jam, where musicians gather to play, share, and connect. Bring your acoustic instrument or just come to enjoy the tunes at the pavilion. It's a laid-back jam for all. For more on these events and others, please visit us on our website at fun4augiekids.com. Have a great weekend.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.
And now, Mike Licio with your WNZF local sports update.
The day has arrived with the 17th Potato Bowl taking place tonight at the Ship, where FPC and Matanzas will battle for football county supremacy. Bulldog coach Patrick Turner is making his official debut.
I think that's one of the advantages of starting off with your rival and having the Potato Bowl. I don't think you're going to have to do or say anything to get these kids motivated. They'll be ready.
Turner made the playoffs his last 3 seasons in Palatka. He'll look to lead FPC there for the 7th time in the last 9 years. The host Pirates look to get their first win on the field against the Dogs since 2016. For Coach Matt Forrest, one game does not determine if the season's a success.
My mentality hasn't really changed. It's a game we want to win. It's a rivalry game. It's a big deal to the community. But the refocus after that game can kind of leapfrog your season, or it can really hinder your season.
Matanzas looks to return to the postseason for the 2nd time in the last 3 years. WNZF is your home for the Potato Bowl. Join Rich Carroll and I at 6:55 p.m. for the game broadcast live from Matanzas. Tomorrow we'll recap the game on a special post-game edition of the Rich and Mike Sports Show at 11:30 a.m. Both can be heard here and on the Flagler Radio app. FPC Volleyball began their season against Father Lopez Wednesday night. The Bulldogs won the first 2 sets in convincing fashion before the Green Wave rallied, taking a 7-3 lead in the 5th set. FPC fought back, securing a 19-17 win to take the match. Senior Faith Daly played all 203 points.
We have to get hype with each other. We have to support each other. And sometimes when we get in our heads, that's hard to do. But I think at the end, that's when we pulled it out of each other and we're good to go.
FPC Girls Golf opened the season at Tocoy Creek Wednesday. Sophia Stivic was the low scorer with an even par 36 in the Bulldogs win. FPC Cross Country will host the 14th annual Spikes and Spurs Classic at the Fairgrounds tomorrow morning. Gates open at 6:15. WNZF is your home for local sports with updates Mondays and Fridays. From the sports desk, I'm Mike Licio.